everybody! Living in Nebraska was pretty great. The only downside is there really wasn't a lot of family around. My family is from Colorado, my wife's family is from California. And so when we thought about should we move at all, the answer to that was yes, if we want to live near family. After a series of crazy events, we ended up here. So what I want to talk about today is how great is Southern California for raising a family. So the number one thing I find about California and what you can do with a family is it requires a lot of time, a lot of planning, and sometimes a lot of money. For instance, if I want to take my kids to the beach, that has got to be a full day trip. You got to plan it, you got to be ready, you got to get out there. You also have to plan at least an hour to drive there, maybe more, which I've noticed here in California, an hour does not seem to bother people. To me, that seems like a long way to go. But because you have to drive at least an hour there, sometimes more, depending on traffic, and then you have to drive at least an hour back, sometimes more because of traffic, if you don't spend an entire day there, you feel like you're cheating yourself somehow. Going to the mountains is a little bit better, at least for us. Where I live, it only takes like 30 minutes to get to the mountains, so if we go, spend a couple of hours and come back, that's not as big of a deal. So that's good. Yay, mountains. Lincoln, Nebraska, though, had something else that was really, really great, which was a lot of different things to do without having to go much of anywhere. And they were also super cheap. I could drive from my house to the children's zoo in less than 5 minutes. Was it a great zoo? The best part is it didn't have to be a great zoo. It is designed for kids. So to take any kid there, they're still excited. They could ride horses or ride camels. They could still see snakes. They could see gibbons. They could see lots of birds. They had a red panda. Red pandas! They're amazing! And since it only took like 5 minutes to get there, we could go spend an hour or two at most and then just go home. But if I wanted to go to a zoo, like an actual zoo that had more than birds, I've got to drive again like another hour. I got to drive into like LA or somewhere else to get to any other animal holding facility. That sounds like a prison. Zoos are prisons. Whatever. They probably deserve to be there. Dirty, murdering, thieving, drug-dealing pangolins. The other thing that I've noticed is a lot of the places that they do have here for kids are like 10 times more expensive than what they were in Nebraska. For instance, in Lincoln, Nebraska, there's a great little place called Lost in Fun. For an adult, it's kind of terrible because it's just playground equipment inside and bounce houses, and there's chaotic children everywhere, and you feel overwhelmed, and your face can melt. So far, looked at only one place that is similar to Lost in Fun, and it's in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, which might be the dumbest name for a city I've ever heard. It costs like $17 to let your kid go around and play on play place equipment and bounce houses. Ludicrous. There is some good stuff. My family has passes to Knott's Berry Farm, and it cost us like $80 for a year to go. So we do that. It's awesome. It's an hour away. So again, you got to plan a full day for it, but that is something we do, and it's fun. That's an option that you did not have in Nebraska. I love Disneyland. I think it's amazing, but I'm not taking my family of 4 there for a day, because that's $400 dropped instantly. Children get like a $6 discount. Thanks, Disney. That helps a lot. All that being said, here's the one thing I have enjoyed. We moved here to be with family, not just to move our family here. And that has been really, really great. My kids enjoy having family around. They enjoy the fact that their great-grandparents have a swimming pool that they can go and splash around in and spray water in my face, in my eyes, in my ear. Darn kids. We see a lot more people outside of our little nuclear family, and that is important. It's great for my kids to have somebody else aside from me and my wife to hang out with. That's why we moved. So, I mean, yes, that's still good, and they'll probably watch this, so I don't want them to think like, oh, he hates it here. I don't hate it here most of the time. And that's probably the best thing I can say for all of this is even though there's some challenges even for getting my family to do things that are fun and great for us as a unit, what's really important is that you do still have family there. There's an excitement in my kids' voice when they say we're going to go to Nana's house. There's an excitement when we have birthday parties, and there's more people there than just my wife and I. My wife and me. And even though they don't get to go to indoor playgrounds when it's 100 degrees out because you can't find any, or when you do, they're super crowded with a bunch of kids who are just like yelling and screaming and maybe swearing or pushing people over or eating another child. We still find fun stuff to do, and we still find things that we can bond over. And, you know, those few times that we do get to go to Knott's Berry Farm or we get to go to the beach or anything like that, the joy that lights up on my child's face and my other child's face. When they're shouting and laughing and splashing and dancing, that's what makes it worth it, right? You don't always move just for yourself, and you don't move just for one person's desires. You move because it's better for the whole group. And I think that's what we've done.